So today I would like to welcome each and every one of you to spend your Saturday here with myself, my other investor friends, and taking this step to personally, professionally, right, just get yourself on track, right? So today's theme is restart and refocus. So although we're in October, we have like the last quarter of the year to go with our goals. I think going into the holidays every year, you're like, oh shoot, it's Halloween. Oh, Halloween's in a couple days. So if you have kids and you haven't bought a costume yet, I know you're gonna be at Halloween buying the $60 thing because you missed out on all the cheap costumes, right? And then the next thing you know, it's Thanksgiving and it's Christmas and then it's New Year's again. Oh, what happens at New Year's? Oh shoot, I gotta write my resolution, right? Create your goals. And raise your hand if you wrote goals this year and you haven't really looked at your goal and you forgot what your goal was. You guys are pretty good. You guys relook at your goals every quarter. Nice, nice, nice. Right? But it's time to reflect on the year, right? Did you accomplish your goals? If not, what needs to change? Is it your action steps? Or was your goal, I want to make $100 million, right? And you failed along the way. But it wasn't really failures, right? It was building your toolboxes, the things that worked, the things that didn't work, and leveraging other investors. For myself, I love hearing about other investors, their wins and losses, right? I can borrow their experience and build my own toolbox. So hopefully I can learn from their mistakes. And then we can laugh about it later when we both made the same mistake, even though I should have known better, right? So today we have a wide range of speakers. If you are into the fix and flip, buy and hold, commercial, needing a little bit more grit, right? Taking the next step, more perseverance, down to social media content and marketing. So very wide range of speakers. If you're in the VIP session, I think you would agree with me that every person who came to your table was able to offer you something different, something you didn't know before. Whether you're that experienced investors and you're doing multi-million-dollar flips, right? There was something you were able to take from that experience. So today, I like to force everyone to network. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna stand up and you're gonna meet someone who you've never met before. You're gonna tell them your name and you're gonna tell them how you can help their journey. Whether you are an experienced investor, a rookie, this is your first day, whatever, wherever you're at, right? You have a unique capability. So I'll give you a few seconds to think about what that unique capability is. So everyone here came to learn something. But we're about abundance mindset, right? Not only what you can take, but what you can give. How you can contribute to the community, right? And that's why we're here today. Not only to learn, but to give back and to contribute, whether you're a new investor or you're a seasoned investor. If you have yet to do your first deal, or if you're on your 100th deal. All right, so we're gonna kick off with our first speaker. Our speaker's name is Brooks Onishi. So he started out as a realtor, and then he became an expertise in property management, kind of made his way through the mortgage industry. And now if you follow Brooks's page, Vanguard Hawaii, right? He has a podcast that's out. He brings on local investors just to talk about their deals. And he has very special guests. His mommy and daddy came to cheer him on. Woo! Everyone give a round of applause for Brooks.
Thanks, everybody. It's weird talking on a mic in front of everybody, but I've made a big go at talking in front of the camera recently, so on social media. But this is like a whole nother level. So I want to thank Tahnee for putting this on and inviting me, and CJ for putting together such a great group. I can't tell you guys how important WNN as a group has become to me, because their members have just welcomed me into the investment community. And I gotta say, like, every time that I'm somewhere and being like of value, it's somehow tied to WNN. And so I told CJ, I got to join already. Like, it's like, I'm already a member. He might as well take my money, But there's really something to be said about the way that they stick together, the way that they network, the way that they share their information, and the community that they've built. I think in Hawaii, community and family and ohana is a big thing for everybody. It's a way of life here, and they've managed to create one. And like, adopt me, please. So as Tahnee mentioned, I basically grew up in a real estate office. At one point, I was a third generation realtor. I actually had my license from 2004 to 2016. And then in 2015, I transitioned over to mortgages. I just got tired of all the realtors talking about deals at Christmas. So I figure, hey, I'm going to talk about mortgages and maybe leverage my family and all of my other network as my customers, right? As my clients. And it's been a journey. Like I'm not a numbers person by any means. I'm a whiz at a calculator, but I am a people person. Like relationships are my commodity. Relationships are my asset, and relationships are what I manage and bring to the table. My network. By a show of hands, how many people are here for real estate and property investing? Awesome, everybody. How many properties do you see here today? Right? None. Who are you buying homes from? Right. Who are you building them for and selling them to? So if you don't understand how to deal with people, how to give value to people, you're in the wrong business. But the matter of fact is, no matter what business you're in, you're going to be dealing with people. So I've made my goal is to invest in people. I don't invest in properties. I invest in the people that come with the property, the ones that are selling it, the ones that are going to be buying it. That's where I focus, is the network. I mean, I sure as hell didn't get brought over here or asked to come to talk about my investment portfolio because I don't got one. I am investing actively, but I don't have an extensive portfolio. I don't have extensive investment background. I have got people experience and networking, and I like to connect and add value to everyone's lives. Sometimes I can be a little intense on a one-on-one basis. So putting me in front of a bunch of people might dilute it enough so that it's tolerable for you guys. So I wanted to be intentional about this, and just like how I got into the community, it really was out of necessity, okay? Everybody knows that the market took a turn not that long ago. We all kind of traumatized from COVID. I think COVID probably increased the divorce rates astronomically. We don't know what kind of impact it's going to have on our kids moving forward, and the social interaction that they were deprived of during that time. Now, myself, I ended up going through a divorce right after that, and by the time I got out of it, and I was able to look up and say, okay, what's going on? I'm going to get back into real estate. The market had turned, rates went up, and nobody was buying. And I'm a loan officer. What the hell am I going to do, right? But yet, here I am. I'm on social media seeing all these people still buying and selling. Not only that, they're getting deals off market, so realtors became irrelevant. They're getting loans from hard money and private money lenders. Loan officers became irrelevant. How am I going to stay relevant, right? That is, I think at the end of the day, whether it's on a daily basis, I go to sleep, I wake up, I start all over again. At the end of the year, I'm going to close out my books. What are we going to do? We're going to set goals for next year. It's all about pivoting and figuring out what you're going to do next. I tell my business partner over here, I'm always 10 steps ahead. Like, I don't think about today. Whatever I'm thinking about today is because I already thought about what it's going to do tomorrow, what it's going to do next year. Like, that's just the way my mind works. It just doesn't stop. And everybody tells me I got shiny object syndrome. You're right, I do. So hang around me so you can have some of the shiny objects, because I pick them up and I can't hold them all, so I drop them or I put them down somewhere. You know what I mean? And it's just a matter of figuring out what's important to you, what your superpower is or what your skill is, and doubling down on that. You know, some people talk about, oh, you should focus on your weaknesses, strengthen your weaknesses. I don't believe in that. I would rather strengthen my strength and find somebody who's strong with my weaknesses. Like, I don't like doing things by myself. I like playing with other kids, you know? I was an only child growing up. I didn't have siblings. That sucked. But I think what it did give me the insight was of people and how to integrate with different groups. Because I can step back and I can look at everybody and I can kind of feel like I know what they're missing. I know what they need. I know what they're saying. So I've spent a lot of my life listening to other people, kind of fly on the wall for a little bit. And then whenever I have the opportunity, I step out and then, I'll kind of give my 2 cents, see if it's welcomed. And if not, then I'll go take my 2 cents and put it somewhere else, So it really is what's important to you and what you want to get out of this. The podcast that I started was based off financial literacy because it's important to me. As a loan officer, I have sat down with hundreds of people, pre-approving them. Now, not all of them qualify. The hardest part of my job is telling somebody, they're sitting in front of you, I'm sorry, you don't have enough credit, or you don't make enough money, or, whatever it is. There's so many things that hold us back that we weren't aware of, but you can't know what you don't know, right? So getting pre-approved on the conventional side when you're buying your home, I think is number one. Because at the end of the day, we're all here in the investment community to get ahead, to either stay here, or so that our keiki can stay here, or that we have a better future while we're staying here, How many of you have a friend or a family member that have moved up out of the state, probably to Vegas, out of necessity, right? It's almost like a joke, but it's real. This year they had the convention, I think it was the Native Hawaiian Community for Advancement. They had it in Vegas because for the first time, there were more Native Hawaiians out of Hawaii than there are in Hawaii. What does that say? That says we're doing something wrong, But that's not anybody's fault but ours now that we're aware of it. I was fortunate enough to grow up in a real estate office. I always say I was raised by a wild pack of women because my mom's an alpha female, my grandma's an alpha female, and I feel sorry for my dad. But they taught me what it's like to work hard and to go after what you want, and I got to see, like, just by osmosis, I got to see what it's like for them to buy and sell real estate. I got to spend time with my grandfather on the weekend. First thing I did was he taught me how to rescreen screens, because that's the one thing everybody has a problem with. You can find a handyman, but nobody wants to redo the screens for some reason. So like, these are all things that just kind of osmosis. It came innately without realizing it. It's not like, oh, I want to grow up and be a realtor. Like, nobody says that, But what you do is you end up looking at the money and the lifestyle that they have, and you're like, that's what I want. I want to live comfortably. I want to be able to go to dinner and not worry about, oh, okay, there's our budget for eating out for the week. I want to not be able to look at my credit card statement and like, shoot, I can't pay it off all this month. Like, that's the sense of security I want. That's the sense of security I want for everybody else too. But where do you get that knowledge? They don't teach it in schools, right? It should be taught in high school, because how many of you went to college? Hands. Did you learn financial literacy in college? No. And you paid for that, right? So it needs to be taught at a younger age. But where we're at right now, we have this responsibility that we're going to teach our peers, us, everybody's learning here. But if you don't take that home, teach your family, your keiki, it's going to die with us. Like so many other things. So it's got to be a big push. We all got to do it together, and you got to perpetuate it. Like, you got to make like this is life or death. Because it really is, right? If you want your family to stay here, if you want Hawaii to be Hawaii for much longer. So I started this podcast because at the time I was working with Loan Depot and they had a podcast room. And like I said, I was trying to figure out what I'm going to do. Loans are slow, rates are high, nobody's buying. So I'm like, oh, these investors are still doing it. How do I get into the community? How do I break into the community? What value do I add? What do I have, right? I've got a room and a bunch of people that like to talk. So I invited everybody over to come talk about financial literacy. Not only did I give everybody there a platform to communicate what's important to them, share their information, but I myself selfishly got to ask them all the things that I would never get to ask, or I would, but it would have took me years to do. Like I circumvented maybe 100 meetups by doing 8 podcasts. You know what I mean? Now, on top of that, I piggybacked on their credibility because everybody's seeing me with the investors. I gotta have something of value to add, right? I didn't when I first started. I do now at the end because I figured it out along the way. And that's just how I operate. I am shoot first, aim later kind of person. But I like the excitement of it. I like the winging it. Let's figure it out, make it happen, problem solve, and celebrate after because we did something awesome. You know, that's my personality. I know. I was officially diagnosed with ADHD when I was a kid, and I think it's my superpower. I can't pay attention to things for long, so I like things with short sales cycles. I don't want to do ground up because it takes too long. I'm bored already, you know. But if I do a ground up with somebody, I'm going to do a bunch of flips in between because that's going to keep me occupied, right? That's going to keep the lights on. That's going to give me the excitement and keep me passionate about investing. That's also going to give me the continued interaction with other people in the community that I really like. I just like talking story with everybody, honestly. You're going to pay me to do this for a living? I'm all in, you know? But it's something that I have to focus on and get better at. Here I am. Now people are asking me to come speak in front of groups, and I'm like, I have no idea how I got here. Like, I don't. What do you want me to talk about? I'm not an investor. I mean, I am, but not in the sense where I have this huge portfolio. Like, I can't open my bank account and show you guys, look, I succeeded at investing. I am still learning every day. I am still trying new things. I am just sharing the things that I know that work, the things that I have value, my experiences in life. And everybody's got a little bit or a lot of that everybody else here needs. So the meetups, the paid, the free, all of that is investing in yourself, investing in the other network of meeting people and making connections. And so I will say that is your biggest investment. I would focus on you and the people that you surround yourself with first, before anything else. Thank you.